In the village of the rising sun, a tangle of dirt roads and houses huddled together like weary old friends. The predominant color was gray. The gray of the dust that rose with every step. The gray of the peeling walls. The gray of despair in the eyes of many. Esmeralda, at 10 years old, knew this gray well. It was the color that filled her life since her mother, who planted a small sunflower bed by the window, succumbed to a silent illness that the village could not fight. That flower bed, once a beacon of joy, was now a painful reminder of an absence that weighed more than 1,000 bricks. After her mother's death, Esmeralda's father, a good man but broken by grief and hardship, sank into incessant work to try to provide the bare minimum for the family. Little Esmeralda, with her big, curious eyes, found herself responsible for caring for her 2 younger siblings, always hungry and with scraped knees from playing in the dusty streets. She fed them with what little she had, told them made-up stories to make them forget their hunger, and rocked them to sleep on a thin mattress where the night's cold seeped through the cracks. Esmeralda's childhood had no room for toys or carefree laughter, only for responsibility and pain. The only thing that connected her to the happiness of before was the small sunflower seed she kept in a little jar, a treasure left by her mother. One day, while trying to repair a small fence in front of her house, a fence more symbolic than functional, Esmeralda found a forgotten patch of land in the corner of the yard. It was a place where no one trod, full of rubble and weeds. As she removed a heavy stone, she felt something, a voice, almost a whisper, calling her to take care of that piece of land. It was her mother's voice, she was sure. Driven by this feeling, and with the sunflower seed in mind, Esmeralda began to work. She cleaned the land with her own hands, removing shards of glass, pieces of plastic, and stones. It was exhausting work, but each piece of trash removed was a piece of her pain being released. With the few coins she earned selling sweets on the street, she bought inexpensive seeds, basil, bell peppers, a few simple flowers. With great care, she planted each one, conversing with the earth as if she were conversing with her mother. She used cut-up plastic bottles as watering cans, and the faded walls of the neighboring house served as a fence. Slowly, something magical began to happen. Green sprouted, and then colors. The basil exuded its fragrance, the red bell pepper shone in the sun, and in the center of it all, taller than all the others, a sunflower began to bloom. That small garden became her refuge, her secret, her sanctuary. The neighbors, initially curious, began to admire it. Children stopped to watch. People previously apathetic began to smile as they passed by Esmeralda's house. Esmeralda's garden wasn't just beautiful, it was a source of life. She shared what she harvested with her neediest neighbors. The vegetables added flavor to their few meals, and the flowers brought a touch of beauty and hope into their gray homes. One day, a social worker visiting the village of the rising sun noticed the garden. Impressed, she inquired about the girl who tended it. She heard Esmeralda's story, her mother's story, and her resilience. Moved, the social worker secured a small grant for the community, inspired by Esmeralda's secret garden. With everyone's help, the vacant lot next to Esmeralda's house was transformed into a community garden. The gray of the village of the rising sun began to give way to shades of green, red, and yellow. Years passed. Esmeralda, now a young woman, was studying agronomic on a full scholarship. Her mother's original sunflower, whose seeds Esmeralda had harvested and replanted each year, continued to bloom majestically in the middle of the community garden. She hadn't forgotten the greenness from which she came, but now she saw the village of the rising sun blossoming with vibrant colors, full of life, and a hope that she herself had helped to cultivate. She not only overcame poverty, she planted seeds of overcoming for her entire community. The tears she had shed at the beginning of her journey had watered the soil of a brighter future for everyone.